Greetings and welcome to our devotion time. Last time we left off, Noah and his family have disembarked the ark. God is speaking not only to Noah but his sons as well, that is his descendants. And I want us to look at that as God makes a covenant with not only Noah but his descendants as well. And so that means the covenant that is made here is really our covenant as well. We're all sons or descendants of Noah. The flood wiped out everything, every bloodline except Noah's. And so our genetics, in a sense, come from Noah. And thus we're really subject to the terms of the covenant. And so I think it's kind of fitting today to look at this idea of covenant and know what the terms of that covenant are. And it starts with a sign. In the Hebrew, it's ot is the word, and here is what scriptures describe it as. The Holy One said, and I'm going to use the words here, Zot ot habrit, and this is a sign, is how we translate it. Another way you can translate it is, this is a token of the covenant, which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I set, and then I want us to get this word as well, the Greek word kashti, that's my bow, in the cloud. And it will be a sign for a covenant between me and the earth. It will happen when I bring a cloud over the earth, and the cloud ha-kashet, a rainbow, will be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and the waters will no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And this ha-kashet, the rainbow, will be in the cloud. I will look at it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And then God said to Noah, and here again the Hebrew word zot ot habrit, this is a token, a covenant, which I have established between me and all flesh that is on the earth. So that's everybody. That includes everyone. And this provides a perfect opportunity to discuss the concept of this covenant sign. Our text also, again, could be translated token. We've all known since we were kids, if we're one who attended church, that the rainbow is a sign of the covenant the Lord made with man, and I guess you'd say with animals as well, as the text kind of makes clear. And the sign was he would never destroy all the living creatures by flood again. And every covenant which man or humanity participates in has a sign. The sign for a marriage covenant is a wedding ring. The sign of a social covenant of a peoples who voluntarily unite under a government is the nation's flag, and so on. It is, in a sense, earnest money, if you've heard that term, for real estate. A contract, it testifies that and so that's kind of like that, and it testifies scripturally or spiritually speaking, he who has begun a good work in us will finish it. That's kind of the idea there, that God will complete that work. This covenant that he makes with us will be completed. So this pattern is set by the Lord, that every covenant made by the Lord is accomplished by its sign or a token. The sign or token is kind of a down payment, as it were, on the ultimate fulfillment of that covenant. If there is no sign or a token, there is no brit, is the Hebrew word, no covenant. The sign or the token is what seals the covenant and makes it a legal binding covenant. And I'm using a lot of Hebrew words here because I'm wanting to tell a story with these words. If you remember, Hebrew comes out of a picture language, hieroglyphics. Its core began that way, and so it paints a picture. And so going back and looking at Hebrew letters, you can also get some word pictures out of this, and there's a beautiful word picture here today. The Hebrew word for our English Bibles translates signs or a token as ot, as I said, and there's three letters, aleph, vav, and tav. And if you look it up, and if you have a Strong's Concordance, you can look that word up. It's word number 226. And it's pronounced like our English word, or very similar to oat, and that's the way I'm pronouncing it. And this word is, again, a hieroglyphic, which in its purest form depicts the Holy One. So that's the first letter, the Holy One. Being nailed or otherwise attached, a vav, attached, a connection, like a peg being run through the ground or a tent. And then tav is a tree or a door post. In other words, it's a word picture of the Lord voluntarily restricting himself, allowing his omnipotence to be limited. The Hebraic word picture drawn for us by the word ot is thus very similar to a picture shown in the ceremony of the Old Testament that prescribes for a Hebrew who's been a freed slave or indentured servant, after 7 years of indentured servant, to voluntarily become a servant for life to his master. And you'll find that in Deuteronomy 15. It kind of describes that. I'll read that here. It shall be, if he tell you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your house, because he is well with you, then you shall take an awl and thrust it through the ear to the door, and he shall be your servant forever. The oath, the sign, the token of such covenant is kind of twofold. The hole in the ear is a voluntary bond servant. That's where slaves, got their earrings, so to speak. A bond servant, a hole in the bond servant's ear. I will always, and the Hebrew word was shema, always, and so it's so much more than just listening, but it's listening for hearing your words, obeying your words, so as to make them meaningful for me, that I'll count your words as the ultimate meaning for me. And the hole in the master's door says, my door is always open to you. My home is your home forever. And so that's kind of the symbol we get here with this. The oath, the sign or token of a covenant with Noah, is likewise filled with beautiful imagery. The rainbow, kashet, is the Lord's bow. Now this is a weapon. It's a weapon of death, a bow. You pull the bow at an animal, you're hunting, you're killing that animal. And so the Lord extends the bow to mankind, to humankind, and it's offered to man just like we would offer any dangerous device to a person, like a knife. We would hold the sharp end and hand the handle to the person as a way of protecting that person we're handing to. And so the Lord was saying to humanity, in connection with this action, at least I believe something like this: I will not destroy you, but I will place in your hands the means by which you can bring death to me. This is part of that covenant, that covenant. Excuse me. So keep in mind that even as the Lord extends his weapon of death to Noah and his sons at every generation, he knew full well, because it was part of his eternal redemptive plan designed at the foundations of the earth, as the book of Hebrews lets us know. That he would physically assume the form of a Messiah in our midst and be put to death by the descendants of Noah. And so that's the idea that we have here, is I think in this beginning covenant of this new chance for humanity, God is pointing to Messiah right here in this covenant making with this rainbow in the sky, this weapon of death pointed right at God. I think it shouts out Jesus on the cross. We certainly did. Humanity certainly nailed Jesus to the cross, but that cross ended up opening a door to our salvation. Well, I'll stop there and let you ponder that. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you Sunday, hopefully, either at church in the Family Life Center or here at the internet, and we'll worship together. Blessings. Bye now.